In this video, we make an heirloom dining table out of construction lumber. Stay tuned. Okay, so I imagine you clicked on this video because the title is something like, I don't know, heirloom furniture with construction grade lumber. So let me explain, and throughout the video, maybe it'll make sense to you, maybe you'll agree with it, or you won't agree with it. Either way, it's cool. It doesn't bother me at all. But it did get me thinking, so I decided to do a little research. So the first thing I did was look up the definition of heirloom. And the definition reads, an heirloom is a valuable object such as jewelry, furniture, or a photograph passed down through generations within a family, often holding sentimental value. So I kept reading, and I didn't see anything about white oak, walnut, ash. Pick a species of wood that you would like. Didn't say anything about mortise and tenon. Did not say anything about dovetail joinery. So I don't know why people insist that something can't be an heirloom if it's not made with specific materials or joinery methods. So one of the keywords in that definition would be valuable. So value is, I guess, an opinion, right? So what's valuable to me may not be valuable to somebody else. So with me being 55 years old, time is valuable to me, and who I spend that time with is even more special. So you can see there's a young man in the video with me, and that would be my son. And for this video, let's go ahead and call him James, which is actually his name. So I cherish every moment I get to spend with my kids because we're on limited time on this earth. So James will be getting married soon, and him and his fiance have a small apartment, and they needed a little dining table. So I suggested that we build a table together, and he loved the idea, which made me happy because I got to share a big part of my life and stuff I like to do with my son. So as you can see here throughout the video, I am showing him how to use the equipment, the planer, the joiner, table saw. He's not a big fan of the table saw, so you're going to see me use that a lot. So as you can imagine, just starting out as youngsters is not like they're sitting on a big pile of money. At the time, we still owned the house that you see here in Louisiana, as well as the house in South Carolina, so I'm not exactly have a lot of disposable income as well. So that's how we ended up on the pine. So I just went to, I don't know, Lowe's, I believe, and just bought a bunch of 2x12s, 2x6s, 2x4s. Definitely the 2x12 so we can cut out the better parts of the board. So obviously, construction lumber would not be the ideal material, or pine for that matter, the ideal material to use for a dining room table due to its soft nature. They do not have any children nor pets, so I'm sure the table will be fine, so we went with it. Okay, safety police, warm up your keyboards and start typing. So this miter saw I got for free. It was bolted to the top of a Black & Decker workmate bench that I bought when I had to temporarily move back to this house. I did not have a lot of money to spend on tools, so the fact that I got that for free was a bonus. I did explain to my son that it's not ideal to use this miter saw without a blade guard, and he needed to be extremely cautious. So with all that being said, we all have our fingers. No big deal. We didn't cut anything off. So all's well. Why are universal motors so freaking loud? Comment below. So, revisiting the definition of heirloom and focusing on the word valuable and placing value on something. So, throughout this build, you can see James getting more and more comfortable using the equipment, the planer, the joiner, and what right here he's using the table saw. So, for me to see him build those skills in front of me, man, that's valuable. That's valuable to me. I think it'd be valuable to any father. And the best part about this whole build is just spending time with each other. And these are memories that, God forbid something happened to either one of us. These are memories that are built into this table, built into this time. So how can somebody say that this is not an heirloom piece? The memories that we're building, a father teaching his son something, and he's going to pass it down to his kids if they have them. This table is going to be around, whether it's made out of construction lumber or freaking ebony. It doesn't matter. It's going to be there, and he's going to remember. Every time he sees this table, he's going to remember this time. And to me, that's worth everything. You can't put a price on that. Therefore, it is an heirloom piece. Unless he decides that he didn't like it and he cuts it up and throws it in the fire pit. And then it's ashes. So he'll burn the table like he burned my memories. That would make me very sad. So let's talk about YouTube and woodworking. See, so we all turn on YouTube and we watch videos of some amazing woodworkers. But what I've slowly seen them become is content creators first and woodworkers second. I'm going to pause right now, and this is going to be a teaching moment for my son. So he's going to learn about bore tension. So he's going to make a cross cut. He's going to try to anyways, and I'm showing him how to line up the splitter guard with the mark. And it's going to get cut, or it's going to get stopped. It's going to get stuck. So he's asking me what's wrong. I'm explaining it to him. It's bore tension. Try it again, which was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. And I tried to pull it like an idiot. I should have done that. So teaching moment for both of us, actually. So he's going to push the board forward. I'll pull the saw out. We'll realign that mark, and then I'll show him, even though I'm 55 and he's 28, I am stronger than you because I'm your father. And just like that, cut. So back to what I was talking about before. So YouTube, to me, I remember watching 4 Eyes when he first came out, and watched what he built that into, which is incredible. Same thing with Blacktail. And both of those guys seem like extremely nice guys and humble guys. And I'm not picking on them for... Of course I'm not picking on them. They freaking have millions of views and followers. I guess what I'm saying is I get nothing out of their videos anymore. I get nothing out of their content at all. And it seems to me like they're content creators first, and it's secondary is the woodworking. And I get it because that's how they make their money now. So that's understood. But everybody thinks that you have to build a table out of walnut or white oak. And if you're just starting out, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. And so when somebody like me will post something about building this table with my son and it's out of construction lumber, I'm going to catch some crap for it because it's construction lumber and you shouldn't make furniture out of construction lumber and blah, 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 blah. Well, that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. Because I can tell you, Gertie Mae at the craft fair is not buying a Clara walnut resin table. Not going to do it. She'll buy a pine trestle table for $300 and you've got $60 into it. So to me, that's a pretty good freaking trade-off. Anyways, pine's been it just gets a bad rap, and I don't get it. Treat it like other material. Draw it out, plane it, join it. Be selective with your choices, and I think your table will turn out just fine, or anything else you make with it. All right, on to another taboo subject. The pocket hole screw or the pocket hole jig. Man, there's nothing wrong, and this is all opinion as well, right? So to me, there's nothing wrong with pocket hole screws, and it gets a bad rap too, and people get pissed off when they see somebody using it. Um, it's a great, it's a great tool. It's a great entry tool. It's not intimidating, man. And I don't. Why does it get a knock? I have no idea. Now, granted, you don't want it on the outside and showing and exposed. This is on the underneath, and this is not really what I wanted to do. Anyways, I wanted to use dowels, and I bought the Grizzly dual doweling machine, which I guess is supposed to be kind of like a domino type thing. Um, well, those two cutter heads are misaligned, and the quality at Grizzly is not great apparently. So we opted to do this because I could not get dowels to line up the way they needed to. So we opted to do it this way. And again, I see nothing wrong with it personally. It's not an intimidating thing. It gets people into woodworking. It's fast, it's easy, and I know that it gets a lot of flack because it makes woodworking easier, or they'll see who does the woodshop diaries? The girl that does the woodshop diaries. Man, she makes everything with pocket holes, and her stuff looks good. And that's the stuff that would sell around my area. Anyways, everybody hates the domino too, right? Because it makes woodworking easier. You're not cutting mortise and tenons. You're freaking drilling. You're drilling an oblong hole and sticking a loose tenon in it. I mean, for real. I mean, you're gonna rip on the Craig jig, but domino is acceptable. Anyways, just my 2 cents, man. So James, Jimothy, he is not here to put the top together. Matter of fact, the video is kind of, like I said, takes place over a few weekends, so it's going to be. I pieced it together out of to where it kind of can make sense. So, anyways, I'm putting the top together, and you can tell by the jacket that the temperature is cold. So, yeah, just putting the top together with the Craig pocket screws, if anybody's wondering. And those are 2-inch long screws, I believe. If anybody's wondering. All right, so what I'm doing here is right there in the center table, that joint was not cooperating with me. So I am drilling and screwing down some slabs on the underside. Will flip the top over and run my track saw through it to get that last joint to come together. So that's what I am doing here. And although I did not like the doweling machine from Grizzly, this little track saw I actually love. Man, I might be going on 4 years now, and it's still the same freaking factory blade, which is why it's starting to struggle. So, anyways, it worked. Okay, I really, really missed my Festool sander and dust extractor. Okay, just putting a small round over on the top and bottom. That's the bottom, obviously, but yeah, top and bottom just gives a small round over. Okay, Jimothy's back, coming on strong with the Craig Jig pocket hole machine. Well, he was. Got to tighten it up first. Anyways, so yeah, so that's aprons and legs, I believe, and that we're going to construct. And as you can tell, videos all over the place. So, anyways, yep, pocket hole screws. Okay, so assembly is starting, and I'm showing him the importance of you can never have enough clamps. So the fact that you can never have enough clamps, I buy my clamps from Harbor Freight. Well, at least these squeeze clamps anyways. I buy from Harbor Freight. They're cheap, and they have a lifetime warranty. So if one of them screws up, you just go get it replaced. No cost. I'm also showing him the importance of having something square. So, yeah. We are about to start screwing down some pocket holes. So going back to building memories and heirloom and everything else I talked about in the beginning, the coolest thing throughout this whole build with James, I'm sorry, Jimothy, is sharing stories of when he was growing up with him and his sister. And as a father, how you always want more for your children. And we look back at times, me and my wife, when we were struggling and young, and like we always wanted to do more for our kids and always wanted to give them more, which I think is normal. Because I was talking to him about how I wish I would have done things different, and I wish I would have been a better father. And he was looking at me like I had two freaking heads. And, you know, for him to tell me that I was an awesome father and how he cherished those times of me and him just playing video games, playing Sonic the Hedgehog when he just, or Halo, and he just whipped my ass in Halo as a youngster. And also there's times when, you know, he begged me to bring him to The Hangover 2, and I brought him to Hangover 2, and when we left Hangover 2, he looked at me and was like, I cannot believe you just let me watch that movie. And when we look back at those times now, and they're some of the best times of our lives, and he remembers every bit of it, and we got to revisit that building this table and spending that time. So I go back to that definition of heirloom. And again, this has sentimental value that we're building right now. It has built-in sentimental value of a father and a son doing a project together and strengthening their relationship, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, it was a very, very special time for me. Okay, I'll stop with the sappiness. So James isn't here, and I asked him what he wanted to do. I did not want to stain it, but they wanted me to stain it like a walnut color, and I told him pine can never look like walnut. It's better to let pine look like pine. So here I am trying to make it look like walnut. That's Minwax Early American translucent stain from Walmart, whatever. It matched pretty close to a coffee table they had. And I was okay with the way it turned out, but again, I really wish we wouldn't have stained it. I tried to talk him out of it, but that's what he wanted. It's their table, so that's what we did. And here I'm just reinstalling the figure 8 clips, getting ready to flip the table base to the top, and get it on the ground and finish staining. So I understand that monetary, this obviously is not going to compete with a walnuts table. It's not custom furniture. It's not high end. But heirloom is not high end. It's something that has a significant sentimental value, regardless of the object. If you disagree, just leave a comment. I like to hear it. I like to hear how you can disagree with that definition of what heirloom is. Because again, I'll go back to the problems with YouTube. The word heirloom gets attached to something that's freaking extremely expensive and not obtainable by most people. And I think they miss the true meaning of what heirloom is and what it means. Again, it is a sentimental object. So, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, the top gets the same treatment as the apron and legs. Minwax Early American. I think I did 2 coats. I was happy with the result. I did 2 coats to try and darken it as much as I possibly could to match the coffee table, and I think it did not bad. Probably still a shade light than a coffee table, but not bad. And apparently I've already placed a coat of wipe-on poly, and I am sanding it now. I think I did 3 or 4 coats of wipe-on poly. And just the crappy Watco from Ace Hardware is what I used. Again, what I had available. Yeah, here we go. So some more wipe-on poly. I apologize for just rambling on, and especially if I got extra sappy in this episode. I don't script anything. I like to just edit and do voiceover as I go, and I capture my true emotion of what I'm watching and what I felt when I was building. Like, for instance, this table. I'm sure you heard the emotion in my voice when I was talking about my son. But that's my style, and as real as I'm going to get. I'm not fake. I don't overproduce anything. I don't script anything out. Maybe I should. I don't know, but I don't. Again, like I said in my last video, this isn't my full-time job. It's never going to be my full-time job. Don't want it to be my full-time job. I just enjoy doing it. So if it's brought you anything, if you found it entertaining, if you agree with what I said about heirloom furniture, please considering liking and subscribing. It does go a long way, and I am trying to build this channel. So till the next one, peace.